Where we at? Humility? Humility? All right. Okay. The principle of humility, so central to the first step, is expressed most purely in our surrender. Humility is most easily identified as an acceptance of who we truly are, neither worse nor better than we believed we were when we were using just human. Do I believe that I'm a monster who has poisoned the whole world with my addiction? Do I believe that my addiction is utterly inconsequential to the larger society around me, or something in between? Do I have sense of my relative importance within my circle of family and friends and society as a whole? What is that sense? How am I practicing the principle of humility in connection with working on the first step? Okay, that's humility. Anybody got a good definition of humility? I know we talked about it Friday, but anyone else?
Right size.
Right sized?
Diffidence.
I'm sorry?
Diffidence.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Diffidence?
Humility.
What you said?
Diffidence.
Diffidence.
What is diffidence?
Another word for humility.
Okay, so it's a synonym. Okay, diffidence. I'm going to look it up. You better be right. I'm going to have a look. I just learned a new word, I hope.
The quality of having a modest or low view of one's importance.
The quality of having a low view of one's importance. Okay, come on.
Not proud or arrogant.
Not proud or arrogant, yes. Humility, anyone else?
Free from pride.
Free from pride. Humility, yes.
Modestness.
Modestness, yes.
Rock bottom.
Rock bottom, all right.
Realization that I'm not the arbiter of the universe.
Yes, I'm not yes, very good. Okay, so now it says here, do I believe that I'm a monster who has poisoned the whole world with my addiction? Anybody believe that? Okay. Do I believe my addiction is utterly inconsequential to the larger society around me? Anybody believe that?
No.
Ricky?
Inconsequential.
There's no
No
consequence.
effect.
No, there are.
None.
Yeah, there are consequences.
Do I believe
Absolutely.
it's unconsequential? No.
Inconsequential. Yes. So in other words, so do you think that you didn't bother hurt nobody?
My head told me that.
Yeah, you're only hurting me. I'm only hurting myself. Some of us think like that. Yeah. I'm why you bother me? I'm just hurting myself. Okay. What's inconsequential mean? Look it up for me. Can you look up the word for me? Okay.
Having no ill effect.
Do I have a sense of my relative importance within my circle of family and friends? Do you guys have a sense of your relative importance? Family and friends?
Do you want inconsequential?
Yeah.
Of little or no importance, insignificant, trivial, inconsequent, illogical.
Okay.
Of little or no importance.
Of little no importance. Okay. Very good. How am I practicing the principle of humility in connection with this work on the first step? Somebody answer. How am I practicing the principle of humility in connection with this work on the first step? Yes.
Surrender.
Surrendering? Yes. Admitting powerlessness?
Just by doing it.
Just by doing it?
Yeah, by putting in the work, going to the meetings 1990, following the suggestions.
Following suggestions?
Yeah, listening to my thoughts and listening to others.
Yes.
Because I know that I've got a little bit of a distorted perception of myself. I've started to trust certain people and I'll ask them, how do I come across in this situation? So I'm starting to get more of a balance and understanding of who I am.
Cool. Very good. Yes, Shannon.
Well, to me, it's about accepting that my way is not the way, my thinking stinks, and I need other people to give me guidance.
Very good. Yes.
By sharing it with my sponsor, be willing to share it with my sponsor.
Okay.
Because in the beginning, the first step I wrote, I was consistently had this thing that I was bad and wrong.
Right.
So being humble enough to share it with another person, completely honest.
Good. Yeah, getting honest. Yes.
Doing service without need for any recognition.
Doing service without having to be validated, recognized. Very good. Yeah. I think open-mindedness is a good display of humility. You know, when you're open-minded, it's a good display of humility, Kyle?
In this context, my humility is being teachable and
Yeah.
not knowing.
Yeah,
I
sure.
know.
Sure, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I think a lot of people with time have a problem going to the first step again. You know, everyone's going right to the fourth step. When really you got a first step problem, which we talked about, when you manage your own life, you know, the door to recovery is kind of closed because you're not admitting the second and missing the first step. So it takes humility. I got 27 years clean. You know, I do all that I do, blah, 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 to be able to say, okay, I need someone else to help guide my life. Or, you know, there's a decision-making process, which we'll talk about in the second step retreat, where to be able to go to people who have information to speak into your life. Nobody makes a decision for you, but if you're a wise person, you gather good information so you can make the best decision that you can possibly make. Somebody who's impulsive and has an ego problem, and you know they don't ask help from nobody. They make decisions, then they come back and cry about it later on. You know, but in the second step, the first step leaves us pretty banged up. So we go to the second step. But what worked for you? What do you do with this helplessness, uselessness, and power? What do you do with this? Where do you go from now? You know. So humility is very important because, and let me tell you, the posture of humility is a posture of spiritual maturity. You know, and humility is not I'm nothing. Humility is not thinking that I'm garbage. It's just not putting myself on this thing where I'm the man, I'm the shot caller, I'm a beast. You know, just being able to say, yo, I'm one amongst my peers, and I need to. And listen, everybody got something to teach you. You know, everybody got something to teach you. If you're open, you can learn. Of course, you can learn what to do and what not to do, basically, right? But if you listen, man, you can learn from anybody. And again, you learn what to do and what not to do. But you can learn, yes.
I can get really confused with humility because I've never really felt myself that I've known anything. I've never really felt like I've got a big ego or I'm arrogant. And the more I learn when I do the steps, the more I don't know. And I came in knowing nothing already. So how does it work finding humility when you're already down here? Because it's like I struggle to get to a place of humility because I'm already really less than and inadequate.
Right. Well, when a level of humility is when you realize that you're not really that bad. That's humility, that you pick yourself up from the ground. You know, you're just like anybody else here. You deserve recovery like anybody else. You're equal to recovery, like, you know, that's a level of humility. For the people who come in smashed up with low self-esteem and, you know, negative self-image and all that stuff that we come in with, humility is, yo, I'm not what the disease been telling me. I'm not what my father said. I'm not what, you know. So that's a level of humility. Some of us think too much of ourselves, right? So what happens is most people who suffer from low self-esteem, we can't overcompensate with the ego. So we make ourselves great in some area. And mostly the area we make ourselves great is the area that's going to make us suffer in the long run. Yes. You understand this? So we overcompensate. So that's why people, you know, I think Gil says something very powerful. I'm going to mess it up. But Gil says, you know, I buy stuff with money I don't have to impress people that I don't like. You know what I mean? You know, so it's a matter of, he overcompensates, you know? So, but humility from that perspective would be like, because you could think, I'm better than, or you think, I'm less than. It's both not being humble, you know? So it's just a matter of being right-sized. Sir, and then sir.
When I remember when I first come around, I was doing my first step one, and I ripped myself to pieces in my step one.
Yeah.
And one of the first most loving things that was said to me by a sponsor that stuck with me was, stop beating yourself up. Stop giving yourself such a hard time. You're not responsible for your disease, but be accountable. Yeah. And the accountability comes in the change. And I believe that my change starts when I start to discuss it.
Sure, absolutely. I think another way of humility, another form of humility is being willing to ask for help. You know, I walk around, I see guys, you know, and I'm going to be at London Convention, and there's going to be 6 guys there that I could really help, but because I'm from America, they would never take my help. You know, seriously, because I'm a Yankee, whatever, a Yankee. You know what I mean? But I can help them. I got the clean time to prove it. I got the third step says the proof of the step is showing how we live. I got the lifestyle. I have the concrete fruits of someone who's been blessed by this program. But because I'm a Yank, they won't allow me to help them. You know what I mean? Or some people, because I'm, you know, some people who are 60 or 50 or older than me, they can't see a younger person helping them.
True.
You know, they can't. Their mind can't grasp the disease. Says, no way.
Yeah.
You know, what does he know?
Yeah.
I know a lot. You know, so it's just a matter of, you know, humility is asking for help. Yo, I need help. I need guidance. Right.
Humility is doing this work, and because I look up the word humility, then I gotta look up the word meek. And it says humbly patient or docile, as under provocation from others. Overly submissive or compliant. Spiritless, tame, obsolete, gentle, kind. So I listen to the ladies, like, when I'm humble, I have to listen to my sponsor, my home group, people that have recovery. I have to empty myself out. This cup is full. Can't put nothing in it. So I have to, you know, be a baby. Lower myself down to low level and get out of my way and let people show me the way.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like to do that sometimes. And people like, you know, I gotta be meek.
Yeah.
But then I get rewarded afterwards.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. The thing, check it out. And in relationships, and humility is the best way to get what you need. You know, humble approach. You know, they say in America you get more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You know, you get more bees with honey. Honey is better. Be humble. Just be humble about it. You know, be able to so yes, all right. Acceptance. To practice the principle of acceptance, we must do more than merely admit that we're addicts. When we accept our addiction, we feel a profound inner change that is underscored by a rising sense of hope. We also begin to feel a sense of peace. We come to terms with our addiction, with our recovery, and with the meaning of those two realities we'll come to have in our lives. And with the meaning those two realities we'll come to have in our lives. We don't dread a future of meeting attendance, sponsor contact, and step work. Instead, we begin to see recovery as a precious gift and the work connected with it as no more trouble than other routines of a life. Have I made peace with the fact that I'm an addict? Have I made peace with the things I'll have to do to stay clean? How is acceptance of my disease necessary for continued recovery? So we talked about these. What is acceptance? Come back, give me the definition of acceptance.
To receive without argument.
To receive without argument. What else?
To embrace.
To embrace. Terry. To tolerate difficult situations. To be true. To be true. What else? Acceptance.
Approve.
To approve of. All right. To concede to allow to enter. All right. Stop what?
Battle.
No battle.
Let go of fear.
Let go of fear. All right, very good. The third question here, right? How is accepting my disease necessary for my continued recovery? Right? How is acceptance of my disease necessary for my continued recovery? Think about that, right? Why must I accept my disease? Why is it necessary? Nick?
Because otherwise I'm struggling with it. It's like a lot of the time my head was like, I hate this disease, I hate being an addict, hate.
Yeah.
If I don't love my disease, I've got to love my disease for me. I've got to love it. It doesn't mean I've got to, I've got to love it as in I've got to respect it.
Yeah.
I've got to watch it. I've got to look after it, etc.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm just fighting, and I go from that. At the moment, I'm in that quite a bit.
Right.
I'm in this sort of like the poor me, why I'm an addict, I wish I could go and drink. That's what I'm thinking. And then the other side is, I've just got that internal battle going back from the relapse.
Sure.
It's difficult. It was really difficult. I didn't think. I could never imagine that a relapse would mess me up as much as it has.
Sure.
I heard it time and time again until it was my experience. It's just, it just doesn't go away, right?
Sure.
It's on me
Sure.
quite a bit.
Absolutely. Rick.
I don't accept that I've got a disease. There's no reason for recovery.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don?
If I don't accept the problem, how can I move into a solution?
Absolutely. Yes. Sure.
Once I accepted that I have the disease, I realized that it's something that's in me that can't be taken out, but it can be treated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for me, the thing is about accepting my disease is it's incurable. And like my first time round, I used to think like, oh, I've got to do these meetings all the time, I've got to do this work all the time, and it was a bit overwhelming. Because then my head starts going, well, I've got goals, ambitions, I want to do things, am I going to have time to manage this, that, and the other, and all of that stuff, and it was really overwhelming. But this time around, my experience has shown me that if I don't do this stuff, I'm not going to achieve my goals, ambitions, and my dreams.
Absolutely. Bless you. Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this for the rest of my life.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just I have to accept that my disease is incurable. It's with me for the rest of my life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not something I don't get cured.
Yeah.
So to accept that, it allows me to look forward to the recovery process.
Yes. Very good. Junior.
So when I fully concede to my innermost self, that I suffer from a disease of addiction that centers in my thinking at all times, and at any given moment I can make a decision that will ruin my life, or I can base my decisions in recovery with the we of the fellowship.
Right.
So I check myself with others,
Mm-hmm.
which is two, yeah, but we're in one. So I just need to concede the acceptance of what we've got here and be willing to embrace it as a way of life, which is difficult, but I can do it.
Sure. Well, how do you know someone has accepted their disease? How do you know? What do you see in the account? How do I know if Param has accepted the disease, if he's accepted the disease of addiction? How would I know?
It's visible and
Actions.
I'm sorry?
The way they behave, the actions.
Step work?
Actions.
Actions. What actions?
Step
Treating the disease.
Step work, sponsor, service. Nobody said the main one. Meetings, right? So if Gemma is not making meetings, can I tell her you're not in acceptance of your disease?
No.
Why not?
Yes, you can.
Why not?
Meeting.
I'm sorry? It's not, but I don't see. But that's why I'm asking. How do you know someone's accepted their disease?
They become teachable.
Well, what they're prepared to do.
Well, do we tell her that she's wrong, or do we ask her if she wants to come to a meeting? Do you want to come to a meeting?
So if I see Kyle and Kyle says, "Oh, I haven't been meetings. You know, I started making meetings. It's been 6 months. I'm doing yoga in the mountains. You know." Kyle is not an acceptance of his disease of addiction, not according to the literature. So if I love Kyle, now oh Kyle, can you pass the ketchup, please? That's cool. I won't say nothing about it, you know. If I love Kyle, I say, you're not making meetings.
Those who keep coming to our meetings regularly, stay clean.
I would tell him, Kyle, do you forget you got a disease? It's not making meetings. It's like my wife not taking her insulin. Right? She got diabetes. She's insulin dependent. You got the disease of addiction. You're meeting dependent. And if you're not making meetings, I think that you've lost the acceptance of your addiction.
Definitely.
I think what Nick said, you're not respecting your enemy, and he's going to pounce on you.
Raymond, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Could I not be in acceptance of my disease
Bless you.
and be here on this step one retreat?
Can you? Of course.
Yes, I've done it many times.
Of course. Absolutely. That's what, I'm sorry. Nikki talked about compliance versus surrender. You can comply, but internally, you know, you got your own, I know people all the time, they can't win an argument with me, but they go believing what they want to believe anyway. They, oh, no, and I say, yeah, but the book says this. I don't care what the book says right here. So you're wrong, and the literature is right. And they go, I don't care anyway, I believe what all right. You know? All right. You know what I mean? So, but I'm just saying, this whole thing about acceptance, if you've accepted something, it looks like something. Right? If I accept certain, I'm not talking about awareness. Right? It says here, we must do more than merely admit that I can't just admit that I'm overweight. Right?
Conduct has to change.
If I accept it, remember surrender is accepting the solution. If I surrender and I accept something, then it brings peace, it motivates me, you know, a couple of things that it says. But it's important because you can lose your acceptance of your disease. You can forget how bad it was. You can forget what helped you get so healthy. You can forget what helped you become so strong. You can forget what enabled you to be so independent. And we read, I don't know if we read it this. It says, if we forget the things that help, we'll go right back where we came from. Right back. Nick.
If we can't accept that we're ill, how can we ever get better?
Absolutely. How about you forget that you're ill once you got better? That's why when your butt is on fire, you 90 meters, 100 meters, 300 meters, okay, yeah. But then things get good. There's no more. You had the gift of desperation because your life was unmanageable. Now your life gets good. Now things get better. They're supposed to get better.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to make 100 meetings in 90 days no more. That's not. If you're hiding in the meetings, that's not recovery either, right? So you got to be able, but there's got to be. It's important that your connection to the program, that you're not disconnected. So that's what happens. I'll come. Let's say I'm here for another 5, 10 years. We'll see people. We've seen them. You've seen them. You know them. You know how one of my main concerns, one of my main agendas, for lack of a better, is to prevent people from leaving the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous out of religious zeal. That's one of my main personal agendas. You can find God, love God, be all that God wants you to be, serve God. You don't got to leave NA. It's a trap, right? So that's one of my. But I've seen more people leave on a social zeal than a religious zeal. And so the disease just say, yo, we're doing good. Those meetings, those people, and the disease, we lose the urgency and the priority of recovery. And things can go good for, I've seen things go good for 3 years. I've seen people go good, they're building their business, they're buying 5 houses, they're doing it, and then I've seen it all come tumbling down in a relapse. And so it's pretty simple, right? If your diabetes is good. My wife got that. If you're taking insulin and you stop taking insulin, you're gonna get sick. If you're an addict and you stop making meetings, you're gonna get sick. And it don't gotta happen immediately. It happens as a result of the disease weighing on you. I'll give you a visible, right? If you could stand on your knee, one leg for a little while, you could balance it out for a little while, you could balance it out. Eventually, you're going to have to come down on your other leg. And people who don't make meetings, you hear it all the time.
Raymond,
Yes.
can I say something?
Yeah.
You can still make meetings, work the steps, call my sponsor, but still be sick. So is it like I have to, it's about putting in the action of changing the behaviour and resisting temptation, because I can look like I'm doing all the right stuff.
Right.
But if I know really I'm still acting out in all those, so it's not just about working. Or I don't know if I'm making sense.
You are making sense.
Yeah. I ate myself to death yesterday. I didn't sleep all night, because I was buzzing on that fucking sugar. So I'm here on a step retreat, listening to you, my guru, but I'm feeling like I can't even do step 1 because it says, before we start working the step, we must be abstinent. So I feel like I'm not abstinent in this moment because of how I behaved yesterday.
Sure. That's what I'm saying, Wendy, right? Recovery is about an on and off struggle and surrender. On and off struggle and surrender. On and off. Everybody here is doing really good in some areas, right? So I don't want to get to the Popeye story, but I got a story where the guy's doing really good in one area, but not so much in this area. He's struggling in this area. Everybody in this room is struggling in one area. And the disease, what it does, what the disease does, it makes us focus only on the one area you're struggling in. Right? And it looks so big. It's this one. Yeah, but you invited Lisa to the retreat. You've affirmed me with words of affirmation. You've made a positive impact by your participation. You ate sugar, But there's a lot of other things that you've done that are positive and you added value. And the disease does that. I'm not just fat. I'm not just, I'm overweight, but I'm loving, I'm compassionate, I'm caring, I serve, I impact lives. That's not all I am is this one defect that I'm struggling with. And that's part of humility. That I'm not as bad as the disease wants me to think I am. And I'm not as good as my ego wants me to think I am. The disease on the other end. And when you have a spiritual awakening, according to the basic text, I don't know what page it is right now, but the 5th edition is on page 101. It says you no longer have the need to feel better than or less than anyone else anymore. Your true value is being who you are. Broken, fractured, struggling. And so we're not perfect. We're in a journey. We're all on the construction. And listen, I can go back to the maniac I was when I had 2 years clean. I'm not. That's why the 10th step says continue. It says none of the things we have is permanent. I don't care how sexy you are, how spiritual you are. What you got is not permanent. 2 things: a daily surrender, a daily reprieve, and it's all based on your spiritual condition.
Yeah.
Right? The basis of a successful recovery is our spiritual condition. And we grow to that. So just important, we struggle. We do up and down, off and on again, struggle and surrender associated with the 6th step is, we're on a journey. We're on a journey. And so it's important that, if you're struggling with certain things, that you don't want to justify or rationalize it or minimize it, but you also don't want to, beat yourself up, too much over it either. So, okay. But back to Nick, go ahead.
I just want to say this, right? My head's saying don't say it, basically. Okay. But I've come to a lot of these retreats. I came to the first retreat I went on. I think I missed one retreat. So I've come to a lot of retreats.
Yes.
And I've noticed, because these retreats, Raymond, what you share really starts tampering with my disease. It just does. I've acted out. After coming to a retreat, I've gone and acted out badly to the point where I think it's no good for me going on those retreats. You know what I mean? What I've worked out is, the lady was talking about the sugar, do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. Everyone runs off the refectory over there and starts eating. And it really, really opens me up with stuff. From the back of it this time, I'm just going to sit with it and tell him your words. You're a liar. You know what I mean? You're not going to have me at it and try and get a bit of growth by having it. For some reason, these retreats do tamper with me. I've gone out and acted out. Eating, sexually.
Absolutely.
It's on me. It's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
But it's good because it's tampering with me.
And let me share with you, since you've been honest. I'm on this retreat doing the facilitation, and I struggle the most when I'm doing these retreats. There's forces that come against us. It says in the 4th step. And new levels, new devils.